Rolling Stone. Stay up. Let's get it.
Yo, what is going on? Woo! Right. Whoa, man, we just took a shot to kind of start it off. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Fransisco Phoenics here with my co-host
Stinkie Hippy.
Yes, and it is rolling with the Rolling Stoners here, back with good talk, real conversations, always keeping it real, never been hating. You know what it is, man. This right here, we got some great topics today, man. We're gonna be jumping all over the place, but like, you came up with a few topics to me earlier this week, and man, I really want to jump into these. Let's, I guess, get off.
Well, before we get into these topics, before we just dive in, like, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh man, Thanksgiving was great. Traveled around to the different families, and like got to see as many people, even though it's during like quarantine and everything. Got to see as many peoples as I could.
So, how was your first pandemic Thanksgiving? Like, was it different? Did you see more or less people than you normally do, or do you think it was like pretty normal? Like,
no, it was definitely different. Like, you know, anybody who said it was, well, I mean, unless you have I have a huge family, so it's like it was definitely different for me. Like,
it is a lot of y'all.
How about you though? Like, you know, how did you feel?
Well, like, so my granny wouldn't even come over to the house. Like, she was just like completely like, no, like, I'm not getting y'all cooties. Right. I'm not getting y'all germs. Like, y'all could do all that yourselves. So she had, but I think she made the turkey though. So she had made the turkey, and I think she had dropped it off at my mom's house. Yeah. And then by the time we had got there, she had already left. And so,
y'all ain't gonna be bringing around, little kids and grandchildren.
Yeah. So I was even gonna go see her the day after Thanksgiving, but I was talking to my auntie, and she was like, "Nah," because even my auntie, like, even when my granny does stuff by herself, my auntie will still go by and see her because that's her mom, you know. Yeah. And I was talking to her, and she was like, "Nah," she wouldn't even let us in the house. Like, she said that she drove from Pasadena to LA just to do a drive-by. And like, they did a drive-by, they exchanged some food, and then she drove all the way back to Pasadena.
It's crazy because it's like, I've been hearing about birthday parties, like, you know, people
the drive-by birthday parties. Yes, these are real things.
I'd be expecting that for Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? Like,
and I get it, like, you know,
it's different times, you know what I mean? Everybody gotta be safe and, like, you know, do what they gotta do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but we were still able to go to my parents' house, went to your people's house.
Yeah.
And it was a good day.
Got to see you know, different crowds and everything. Oh, you know what though was crazy about Thanksgiving? That was the first time, or this Thanksgiving was the first time I've ever had a drink called rum kila.
Rum kila.
Anybody
never
know about
seen
this?
rum
It's
kila
called
before.
Rum kila. It's a mixture of, you guessed it, rum and tequila. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that hard, like, you know, rum kila. But anyway,
I heard it tastes like death. I didn't try it myself, but I heard it death.
Yeah, it is rough. It's rough.
Death is what I said. Yep.
Yeah, death. Like, yeah, it is rough though. So, rum kila though, that was the first time I was introduced to that shit. Like, you know, I've heard of actually pouring rum and tequila together, or like, you know, the vodka, gin, and like
rum and tequila. No,
but nah.
Like
when they mix them all together,
those like the Corona Ritas. That's different. Coronas
I mean, when you go to the
vodkas.
club and you get like a Long Island iced Long
Islands are like, just a combination
Long Island
of
iced tea.
Yeah,
I was struggling to say that shit though.
You got
it. Long Island iced tea. Okay, yeah. And then there was the other one, the blue one. Some motherfuckers.
Right.
Yeah,
adios, motherfuckers.
Adios, motherfuckers. Yeah, like those have a different liquors.
They do.
Mixed in.
They do.
You know what I mean?
But people who drink that are like, you know, asking for it. Hey, let me ask you this real quick. Have you ever heard of an LA water?
I have. It's like
It's like black, right? Or like dark?
I thought it was like green.
Is it? I thought it was black. But then again, I could have been in the club and it was just dark.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't see shit.
Man, I only had an LA water one time when I was super young. And I would love to try that one time.
I had it one time too. I can't tell you what was in it. It was when I was like 19 years.
Exactly,
exactly.
Exactly.
Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, the LA Waters,
right?"
Like, so those are like starter drinks, and like they mix different like liquors.
Well,
and
since
shit.
we're talking about drinks, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
what's your favorite drink?
What you mean,
like your favorite concoction?
I like to drink mine straight though. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not more like I like cocktails, but like I prefer mine on the rocks or like, straight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that's just me personally.
So then what kind of liquor do you prefer? Like,
what
what brands do you like? What?
I'm a whiskey guy, Irish whiskey, Tullamore Dew. If we're gonna do rum, it gotta be Jamaican rum, which is that fire. Like, you know what I mean? That this
stuff.
Yeah, Myers rum. Like, that shit is straight gasoline, but that's the shit I like. I can drink anything but vodka. Like, I mean, and I can drink. I'm starting to get back on vodka, but not like heavy or anything. But I could drink anything pretty much. But what about you?
I'm just now like really getting into the Beefeater. The gin.
Oh, gin.
That's my new stuff now. I'm really enjoying specifically Beefeater, but I do like not the Seagrams. What's it called? The Bombay. I like Bombay too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And that, and of course, whiskey, bourbon. I don't really think I'm huge into cognac like that. I think cognac is a little rough for me.
You don't like Hennessy?
I mean, Hennessy is cool. I don't like it as much as everybody else does. I hear. But I mean, it's okay with some apple juice.
Yeah. What is Remy Martin? Is Remy Martin cognac too?
I think so.
Or is that whiskey?
No, it's not whiskey. Okay. I think it's cognac.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of Remy either.
No?
I mean, I could drink it, don't get me wrong, but like I like whiskey. Like I like bullet bourbon. I like bourbon. The Irish whiskeys. Okay. The
Irish whiskey is the way to go for sure.
I can even take what's that stuff called? Jack Daniels. I don't like the honey Jack, but I like regular Jack.
Oh man, yeah. Honey Jack is dangerous though, man, because it's just not chill.
It's too sweet.
Like, but you can drink that by itself and like I could probably.
And it's not expensive shots, too.
Back to back, that's just dangerous.
But see, that's how I feel about Crown Apple. What's Crown Apple?
Crown Apple too.
Is that bourbon? That's not bourbon.
That's whiskey.
That is whiskey.
That's whiskey.
Yeah, see, I love whiskey.
Yeah, Crown Apple is a dangerous.
Crown Apple is delicious.
Like, yeah, but oh man, yeah, whiskey like so rum killer. Yeah, that was
rum killer.
That shit blew my mind actually when I saw an actual bottle that said rum killer though. You know what I'm saying? Like
they just took it upon themselves.
Yeah,
just mixed it.
Exactly.
They even had like the little death skull on the bottle. If I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense. Like you said, it tastes like death. That definitely makes sense. There was a skull in that motherfucker.
They stuck with me,
man. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started with the episode.
All right.
We got we got the trees rolled up. Mm-hmm. So we gotta go ahead and say the mantra real quick, spark up, and then let's jump into this conversation. You feel me? Let's go ahead and then shout out to our sponsors after the mantra though. But we inhale this smoke not to abuse, but to heal the body, elevate the mind, uplift and enlighten the soul and spirit, good mind and heart.
Good mind and heart.
With that being said, let's go ahead and spark this. We are smoking on some Gorilla Glue, I believe.
Maybe.
I think it's Gorilla Glue right now. So, but we talked about Thanksgivings. You had a couple of major topics that we want to talk. Actually, I kind of want to hold off on that topic. So, before we jump into that, let's see here. Or the video more so. Like
talk about what you want to talk about. Fransisco Phoenics, go ahead and just speak your mind. They can't see what you're looking at.
For sure, no, I don't want to mess up your life.
Nah, you are good. Go ahead and speak your mind, brother.
So all right. It can kind of lead into the other ones too. How do we feel right now, during this quarantine, during this lockdown and everything? How do we feel about the new music that is being released, the new music videos that's being released? Still kind of perpetuating turning up and going outside and shit, and we can't really do that right now at this moment. How do you?
I mean, some people are. I mean, if you look at the videos of Atlanta, they definitely are outside, and so maybe they're making music for these people, or maybe they're making music for the people that are turning up inside.
So you think it's just like people just turn it up inside? Like I know we like we're trying to adjust and like they have some like little strip Zoom meetings and shit like that. But like for the most part, like no clubs open, but you see people kind of like trying to make the club vibes like pop and shit, and it's just like it's kind of like I feel like it's a little bit of a slap in the face because like most of you niggas ain't really getting money like that. Most of you niggas ain't really got females like that. Like and we see that shit too.
I mean, that's the
like,
pandemic or not. That's the truth.
When it comes to like niggas like Drake and like shit like that, yeah, okay, we get that. But like, I mean, like for like the local artists, that's like this shit. The video already is like low budget. You know what I'm saying? And then we still like got you like trying to perpetuate this type of viewpoint. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what the pandemic has to do with that part. Like, I don't like that shit either way. But, like, the pandemic doesn't make me feel more strongly about it. Like, if you're a rapper and you're talking about how you got it and you ain't got it, then you ain't shit either way, pandemic or not. Like, it just, I don't know, the two don't equate to me.
Okay.
But, like...
I mean, the pandemic, like, me mentioning that is because it like, gives you time to kind of, like, sit down and zone in on what's going on and what people are putting out as far as content. Like,
yeah,
so
I don't know.
Why
like,
I mentioned the pandemic aspect of it. But... Agree, like what I mean. It has been a trend before, like the pandemic for sure. But it's like I feel like now we can like actually sit down and talk about it, like because
maybe so. Yeah,
everybody is like at home for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, especially before. I feel like now we're in this weird phase where we're going back into a lockdown because we've been more or less free or open, given the parameters that we're in. I don't know, but I think it'll be interesting seeing what happens in the next couple of months, especially out here in LA, because things are starting to close down and they weren't even as open as they were in some other states, like in Georgia or like in Arizona. And so,
man, because like, I ain't even gonna blow up the spots and shit like that, because I do know of a couple places that are still open and functioning. I can't mention nothing because I don't want to blow up the spots, but. It's like I get like some people are still living like like this free like lifestyle and shit, but for the most part it's just like especially now it's like now that we are like we do have to kind of like focus in and like kind of you gotta be around your kids 24/7. You gotta like what I mean. Like it's like some of them is just like dog. What are you talking about?
Like
bro?
If I was like. In the house with my kids by myself, where I was like, I had to work from home and teach my kids and cook and all this other stuff. It's like I wouldn't want to listen to no like James Blake or like no sad music. So like it's like what's the alternative? Like I want to listen to something that's gonna like take me out of my element and like take me somewhere else. Like maybe not like where you like just like faking the funk, but like some WAP, sure. Like I listen to some WAP or whatever else like. Yeah, if I can't be in the club, I'm gonna like envision myself being in the club.
Like, I'm not mad at that like aspect. Like, yeah, you want to turn up at some points, but yeah, it's like we still have like majority of these like local artists, like because I work with like a lot of local artists.
Local artists.
I was trying not to like I was trying to make it more broad, but we still got like a lot of upcoming artists who like still feel like this is the formula to like make it. In the music industry, and it's just like
I see what you're saying.
Like especially now that we have to sit down, like everything is being exposed, type shit. So it's like not only do you have to deal with your kids, we now are able to see that you have to deal with your kids, and like you have to be at home with your wife and everything. Like everybody get to see this shit. So it's like when we hear like people talking about like how much money they got or like what they did in the streets and shit like that, it's just like
I feel you. I feel like in that moment, I feel like in that scenario, like I think it would be better just to be real and just to rap about what you're going through, because there are so many other people going through that same thing.
Right.
It's the same as like just like rapping about being in gangs or like being like growing up in South Central. I don't know, like living in the pandemic but making it cool and making it your own. And I don't know if you can make it cool or if you can, but I mean, if you could, that would be dope.
You will be one of the dopest artists if you could like flip this shit right now and like make it dope
right.
and like relatable,
right? Even if it's not like,
yeah,
even if it's not like it doesn't have to be a COVID album,
yeah,
but like just talking about like, you know, your struggles
exactly.
personally.
Just something that like, you know, kind of penetrates like, you know, what's going on within the time. Like,
Oh,
you know
so
what I mean?
that kind of reminds me of something else. So the Kevin Hart special came out, right?
Ooh, yes.
And, you know, Kevin Hart is, you know, notorious for, well, he's notorious for talking about his own personal experiences, his own life, his own, you know, pain and laughing through his own. How did you feel about the special?
I thought it was okay. Like people were saying that it was bad and it was terrible and shit like that. And when I watched it, I'm like, I mean, it was alright.
Nah, okay.
I get
sidebar real quick. This nigga was dying laughing when he watched Kevin Hart special the first time. Like he was standing up, walking around, clapping his hands. He was dying laughing.
I was laughing
when Kevin Hart special came on. He capping right now. I just want y'all to know real quick. All right, okay. Go ahead and continue, baby.
All right, yo, check it. All right, look, I'm a goofy ass nigga, right? So it's like I could find the funny within anything. So it's like I understood what people were saying, like they didn't fuck with it, like, you know, but at the same time, like I found the funny within it. So yes, there was certain jokes where he was like, nigga, I was trying to eat a Big Mac and the bitch like just walked up on me and shit. Like I had to drop the whole thing.
I feel you.
I just promised them like 2 days ago I was going vegan. Like that shit, I was like,
that was funny.
I know some like stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
he
happens all the time. It's like certain things like.
So you want to? So like, I thought that
it was okay to me. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so the name of it was like No Fucks Given, and I think that he was trying to. This is my own personal opinion. I think he was going after Dave Chappelle because I think Dave Chappelle is like the epitome of no fucks given. Like Dave Chappelle is like the epitome of I don't give a shit about what anybody says at all. Like y'all fucked me over, and like I'm just living my life now. You know, like he's not here to appease anybody. He's not trying to write books. He's not trying to do all this other stuff. Or like you know what I mean. Like I feel like the way that like.
He even said that though, like in one of the episodes that he had, a little podcast with past couple. He said that though, like I want to get on to that, like I want to get into that edginess like Dave Chappelle, like so.
But he can't though.
He can, but he just didn't. Like you know what I'm saying.
So the
like,
difference between
between
him,
that he can't. I think it's just that he just doesn't. Like,
the difference between him and Dave Chappelle is that Dave Chappelle is going to be known as a legend because of who he is, because of his authenticity, and because like Dave Chappelle is just like who he is through and through, and he tells his truth through jokes, you know what I mean? Like, and he like makes people uncomfortable even sometimes as of late, you know what I mean? But like he still does it in a comedic way, and like with Kevin Hart, he wants to be a legend, but he tries very hard to be a legend. And like, you know what I mean? He's doing a lot. Like he's doing movies and cartoons and TV shows and this and that. And so he has to be politically correct in all his stuff, because if he offends the wrong person, then that messes up what he's doing, because he's already made this lane for himself. You know what I mean? Whereas Dave Chappelle made his lane, I don't give a fuck, category. It's hard to switch. When you've already,
it's very hard to switch, but like I wouldn't say he has to, but like you know what I mean, him trying to maintain his image, that's what he is doing. But like if he really does want to be like Dave Chappelle, then you're going to have to step over that line.
But not only that though, I feel like hear me out. I feel like Kevin Hart did though. I feel like he did as much as he could. Like, think about, like, they live different lives. Like, Kevin Hart lives in Hollywood or Calabasas or wherever the fuck, right? And, like, around all these white people, and he has to act a certain way. Dave Chappelle lives in the middle of Ohio, who knows where, and he be buying guns and going to the grocery store with local regular people. Like, he has more content. Like, he has more, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, his life is way more regular. Like, Kevin Hart, he lives too much of a, like, nobody is going to offend him, and there's not a lot of content that he can go off of with his regular life, because people are too afraid to step on his toes. Like, people don't even know who Dave Chappelle is where he lives, which is crazy, but people really just think that he's just some nigga. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if Kevin Hart will ever get the opportunity to get that raw content or that raw comedy again.
it's like I hear what you're saying, and I agree to some point. It's like you can always have like kind of raw content, like, you know what I mean, about what's going on. You can talk about like the deals that you making and shit like that. Like everybody really is upset about this last special is because it's called Zero Fucks Given, and he didn't even talk about the biggest scandal that happened to him within his career.
What are you talking about?
Like the whole being extorted by something Jackson, I can't think of his name.
Oh, the
like,
dude, but that was like a
and everything like that was, and that almost cost him his marriage, his Grammy, and not the Grammy, but like
he talked a little bit in his last special.
But not
he was
about
talking
him
about
though.
No,
like,
he was talking about his
boy
friend.
just came out with another video too of like, you know, like, so it's a lot of shit going on towards that. Like where we were all expecting you to, especially because it was, and this is why I agree, like, people who don't fuck with it, I understand this sentiment, is because, like, yeah, we heard you talk about your family before, like, you know what I'm saying, like, nah, you're purposely not choosing not to talk about these certain things, like, which I'm sure Dave Chappelle would go right ahead and just, like, you know,
speed bump right over.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't want to say he can't do it. He can, he's not doing it, and, like, he's just playing the safe card, and if that's what he's choosing to do, that's what he's choosing to do. But like, as far as a special, I think he's trying. Okay.
I think he's trying, and I think the reason why he keeps responding to all these people in comments and on Twitter and on Instagram and on Clubhouse or whatever is because he really doesn't give a fuck. Like he really tried really hard. To not try to give a fuck, he just didn't succeed.
When he's going on these little tangents saying like, oh, it's to push the conversation and everything like that. I think he purposely called it no fucks given because he gives the most fuck about it, and like he really wants people to like start hearing how he's trying to be edgy, like, you know.
And like, I think what also probably hurts his feelings because people be like forgetting that Kevin Hart's a human being, like, you know what I'm saying, like he worked hard on his craft. So I don't think it's the fact that he's not funny, which everybody keeps saying. I think Kevin Hart is funny. I think that like the comedy that we get on stand up is different than the comedy that he probably presents to his friends or in his circle of, you know, people that he trusts. And I'm sure he's fucking hilarious, I would imagine, like, because I don't know, maybe he is more raw.
We all know who he was talking about though, like, you know, he was like on this podcast, he was trying not to mention his name. Nigga, we know he was talking about Tariq Nasheed, bro. Like,
but he talks about him.
Good, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like on the podcast, it was like, oh yeah, we don't want to, give him any mentions and shit. Like, nigga, we know who you talking about. It's
I feel you.
Bro. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't like Tariq Nasheed though.
Yeah, I mean, it's love where it's like, you know, you bring knowledge. Like, you ain't gotta accept everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like people be trying to take people's characteristics and like what they works are for. Like, you know what I mean? I think if they character over, like, if it completely fucks up their works, then yeah, we can like go ahead and toss them to the side, like R. Kelly type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. Like, you do that kind of blame game with Mike Tyson. You do that shit with Michael Jackson. Then,
you
like,
can do it with Tariq Nasheed too.
Yeah, you do it with Tariq Nasheed. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You do it with Kevin Hart too.
Kevin Hart, you know what I'm saying? We damn near gonna be tossing everybody. Like,
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
I
So
feel
it's just
you.
like,
I feel you.
I don't know, man.
I think, again, like, Kevin Hart's feelings were hurt. Like, I don't think that it wasn't that he's not funny. I just think that, like, maybe people were expecting a certain level of funny. Like, I keep hoping that Kevin Hart's going to be just as funny as he was in his first and second specials. And, like, I don't know if he's ever going to match that level again. But it doesn't mean that the other ones aren't funny. Like, if it was some random Joe Blow and he did the same comedy special, I think people would think it was really funny.
Yeah.
I really do. People wouldn't be like, oh, that's not funny. It was funny. It was. It just wasn't hilarious. It wasn't.
I agree. Yeah, it wasn't
what we wanted.
Like, I think he really wanted to have like a conversation, and like you said, it was just like him kind of getting back to it. Like, you know what I mean? Should it have been a special? Probably not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
I was impressed that it was in his house though. Like,
that
was very impressive.
That's one of the dopest business moves. Like,
I had never
like,
seen
people ain't gonna,
anything like that before.
But it's just like he did a special at his house, that's brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, of course it is like during the time, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been on that.
All right.
You want to take another shot before we get into this next topic?
I suppose.
Or you want to wait till after? Should we? All right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead. You know, go on this next one. You know what I mean? Because you had these last two topics that I was very interested in talking about.
Okay. Well, so I had read something the other day, and it says something to the effect of, regardless of what your religious beliefs are, if you ever feel like a craving or like a need or a desire to listen to gospel music, you should. And they said something to the effect of, like, it's your ancestors calling, or it's, you know what I mean, just something in you that needs to be fulfilled, I guess, you know? Mm-hmm. And I had felt this way before, but I would never really listen to gospel music because I just felt uncomfortable, I guess, before. I mean, I listened to it, like, don't get me wrong, like, but it wasn't something I turned on or that I actively listened for myself. But anyways, I listened to it the other day, and it really made me feel better. And yeah, and I was just curious about how you felt about it.
About gospel music?
About gospel music, listening to it, how you feel about all that stuff.
Like, we grew up in the church. Like, anybody, especially like in the hood, majority of the niggas, like, y'all grew up in the church, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter, like, whether it was your grandma, your parents, or, like, your auntie, or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? You ended up, like, having some type of, like, church or gospel upbringing, you know what I'm saying? So, gospel music has always been, like a spiritual, like, uplifting type of, like, music, you know what I'm saying? You should feel good, like, when you hear gospel music. Mm-hmm. Well, at least in the black society or, culture, like,
right.
It riles you up for the sermon, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, gospel music is like, we gonna
praise and worship was important.
Like, and this is why offering is like, okay, we're gonna hit you with another offering.
You feeling good, right?
Right. We'll hit you with the offering, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just like, I don't know. It's like gospel music. It definitely touches the soul type shit. So I definitely hear what you're saying. Like, if you ever feeling depressed or anything, like, it'll bring you in there. Now, I have a weird, like, I don't know. I feel weird about gospel music nowadays, though. Like, I feel like it's transitioning way too much into, like, hip hop, like rock, and like.
So you don't have a problem with gospel music, the principle of gospel music, but you have a problem with what gospel music is becoming.
Just like, I guess, like, with the old heads with hip hop and shit, they be like, man, I can't listen to this bullshit nowadays. Like, I feel like gospel is doing the same thing, but we just not saying nothing because it's talking about Jesus and shit. But, like, the music is, like, literally doing the same thing.
I will say that I haven't listened to any gospel music in years, recently, so like, right. I cannot tell you, aside from, like, that Chance the Rapper album, I don't know about any gospel music. And that Chance the Rapper album was god awful. It was garbage, and that had nothing to do with the fact that it was about, like, Christianity or God. Like, that was just because it was not good.
You know what? I haven't heard Kanye's album yet either. I know everybody like.
I haven't heard it.
No, I haven't, and it's just because I do feel a little bit weird, like, mixing this, like, hip hop into gospel type shit, like, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, I know, come on, man. Y'all know that's weird, dog. Like, that's like. So now, okay. The reason why I say that, though, I heard a new Kirk Franklin song, and it sounded like damn near Future should have been on the song. Like, it sounded like he was about to have Future come in and feature on this track. It was just like, it was such a trappy gospel song, and it's like, I get what you're doing. You, like, you want to reach to the youth, like, I mean, I get that.
But exactly, like, according to Christianity, you gotta meet people where they are.
And, like, I get that aspect, but it's just like, is this what we doing now? Like,
yes,
you changing up all the so-called principles that, like, you know.
But that's how people felt when, like, when
like,
James Brown was doing Christian music, and then when Kirk Franklin and Donnie McClurkin,
so
and
why,
like they all had this new
Snoop
sound.
Dogg when he doing reggae and, like, you know, he wanted to do Christian music. They was bullshitting. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I personally don't care.
I'm like, you know,
everybody could
like,
do whatever they want.
It's a lot of double standards when it comes to, like, you know, Christianity music. That's what I'm saying, or gospel music.
Well, how do you feel about, like, old school music? How do, in general, like, aside from, like, the new age wave of music in general, like, how do you feel about listening to Christian music? As someone maybe who doesn't
music, I think Christian or gospel music, like back in the day, and I think music back in the day, like I think it just had a different, like, feeling. It had more of a spiritual uplifting essence to, like, all the songs, like, you know, in the music back in the day.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's just more so we just want to kind of keep the hypeness going, like, within everything. Everything is just like, yo, we still turned up, we good, everybody up, y'all chill, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it really ain't soulful, like, you know what I mean, anymore.
I think, like, I don't know, I was listening to all the gospel songs that I used to listen to when I was a kid, because I also grew up in church, and it made me feel good. And I don't know if it made me feel good just because, like, gospel music in general has uplifting lyrics and beautiful, like, voices behind them, or if it has to do with the fact that, like, I used to really believe in this religion wholeheartedly, you know, and, like, even though I don't really believe now, like, it still makes me feel nostalgic, or it makes me feel, like, hopeful, I guess. Like, even though, like, what they're singing about is not necessarily something I believe now, it still gives me that same feeling. Mm-hmm. But is that, like, illogical or, like, even wrong? Because, like, I don't know. Like, I think religion was, like, man-made and, like, made to manipulate us. And so, like, I don't know. I feel very, like, conflicted because, like, on one end, I feel like this thing is, like, excuse me, it's, like, made to, like, mess up our minds, but on the other end, the music is beautiful because what Black people has made it, and it gets hard. Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Nah, I totally get what you mean, and, like, we can go down a rabbit hole of, like, you know what I mean? All I want to say to that is, like, music in itself is a science, right? And musicians back in the day, they understood more so the science of music, and I feel like nowadays we just kind of understand, like, the feeling of it, and, like, you know, I feel like they understood, like, exactly, like, you know, how to set up a chorus versus a verse, and, like, you know, how to, like, you know, manipulate each instrument to, like, hit these different chords, but, like, anyway, it's the science, but I don't want to get too, because I can go in depth with that.
I think that, like, I've decided for myself personally, like, one, like, I don't judge anybody on, like, what they choose to do, and, like, two, like, as far as, like, you know, like, if you want to listen to gospel music and, like, you don't believe, or if you feel like you shouldn't listen to gospel music because, like, it's wrong, like, whatever it is, like, I don't care. Like, I get that, like, it's a thin line, but, like, for me personally, I think that, like, I've chosen to believe that, like, I love, like, the Blackness of gospel music. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I love that, like, it's the heritage part for me, or, like, the roots. Like, I don't, like, as Black Americans, we don't have, like, roots or, like culture, you know what I mean? Like, to, like, grasp from. Like, it's not like we're, like, Italians or Germans or, like, Spanish or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know, like, where we are necessarily from. And, like, I don't know. I feel like that's part of my roots. And, like, when you lose, like, Christianity sometimes, like, you lose the gospel music, but, like, that's part of my roots. And, like, I don't know. I feel like I wasn't ready to, like, let that part go. So, like, me personally, I feel like I'll probably still listen to it because it's a part of me.
No, I hear you on that. Like, I definitely, like, having that upbringing, like, you know, like you saying, it's your roots. And I don't know, man. I don't want to keep referring back to the point I was making, like, but it's like, when you hear, like, that alto, like, you know, I, like, singing her heart out, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, like them Sopranos hitting those notes and shit. And it's just like it does something to you, like, you know what I mean. You will never forget those moments, type shit. So it's like, it's a science, though, man. Like it's crazy, but all right. I don't want to stay too long, because we definitely got to get to this video. Or the topic of the video. Right,
the last thing we want to hit.
Yeah.
Now we'll let y'all go.
Man. So,
take the shot real quick.
Yeah, let's take a shot real quick, because this video is causing all kinds of controversy right now. It's rippling through Twitter right now, and people are. It's like 50-50, like 40-60.
Ooh.
50-50? 40-60? What you think?
I think it's a 50-50.
50-50.
But I don't know.
Feel about this shit.
I don't even know how to find it.
I don't think should we play the audio or
why not?
Okay. Let's see it.
Bear with us.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. One second. I don't know. I did just have it up, didn't I?
Okay, I think this is the audio.
Hey, hold on 1 second, ladies. With all due respect, hold on. Hey, stop one thing. With all due respect, ladies, I invested a lot of money into buying this building and to developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... But come on, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to crime, take it to pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out of my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people.
I hope y'all heard that clearly.
Just a quick recap. So it was a black man. He owns this restaurant, and apparently he was playing City Girls, and he was. Go ahead. Hey, you told me to bring it down. We just had a shot, you know. Excuse me. And just to paint the picture, you know, they were serving some fun drinks. And I guess some of the girls were feeling good. I guess they started dancing on the wall, twerking. He asked the DJ to cut the music. He said, take all that ghetto shit outside, basically. Don't look at me, I'm just trying to make sure, I'm not fabricating, That's how I'm telling it. He basically said, take all that ghetto shit outside or, to the other restaurants down the street. And he was like, yeah, I'm trying to provide something good for my black people. Did I get the gist of it?
Yeah. You pretty much got the gist of it. If you guys didn't hear the audio, I'm hoping it came out clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you want to go ahead and?
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah. What's your take? Yeah, on this.
I think he full of shit. And not only that, so I know y'all couldn't see the video, but nobody got up and left. But me, as soon as he said, I don't even need y'all money, I would have hurried up and finished my food and left without paying. You don't need my money.
Yeah.
You don't need my business. And you offended me. I'm eating all your shit and I'm leaving. And I'm not paying shit.
You're not paying?
I'm not paying the goddamn thing.
You ain't leaving. You got
No, he said he don't need my money. He said he already said it. No, I ain't not. He already got it.
Okay,
he got me.
Yeah, in that aspect,
he got me.
He was like, nah.
Nah. Say what you mean.
Yeah.
Say what you mean.
Say what you mean. Mean what you say. Yo, that's hilarious. Man.
I would have ate all my food, hurried up and slurped my whole drink down.
Yeah.
And been out.
Oh, man. That video. Oh, man.
Let's talk about what was wrong with the video.
What? So.
Let's talk about it.
What was wrong with the video? Go ahead.
I can totally understand not wanting people to twerk in your restaurant because I wouldn't want nobody twerking next to me while I'm eating. And unless I'm at a strip club, that's not what I'm there for. I'm just there to eat. But you playing city girls and you getting these girls like fucked up. Like, it's like, so I can understand again. Like, that's not the issue. That's not even the issue. That's not even the issue. Like, I'm not blaming him.
You gave me a detail before, like that he serves different type of drinks, right?
Yeah, they're like, it's like these little Dulce Aladas, or like these little Patron Anitas, or what. So you know, it's like, yeah, but it'd be like the full bottle. Like, he serves them in the whole like actual Dulce bottle or Patron bottle.
Wait, what you mean?
It's like the full bottle. Like, you know, like the Patron bottles, they're not that big. But, like, he'll, like, fill it up with, like, Patron and juice and whatever the fuck. And same with the juice, like, but, like, he gives, like, they're getting fucked up. Yeah, like, it's not like these are, like, little, like, you know, Cosmos and shit. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like, that's that. And I'm not even blaming him for, like, serving all these drinks. You can serve whatever you want and still not expect people to, like, twerk on your walls. I get that. But, like, you can just, like, walk up to people and be like, excuse me, can you please not do that here? Like, you know. This is not what that is. Like, we don't do that here. That's perfectly fine. Take me to the side. Talk to me individually. But you gonna embarrass me? Or you gonna, like, talk about, like, take that ghetto shit outside or whatever the fuck he said? No. Yeah. Unacceptable. You don't have to talk to people like that. He said, get the fuck out. I don't need your money. I'm telling you, I would have been out.
He said what he said.
I would have been out.
Yeah.
Because he would have never said that to a white person. He would have never said that to anybody else. Like, when people say that, like, black men disrespect black women at race that, like, don't match any other race, that shit is real as fuck. Like, ain't no reason why he had to do that shit. He would have never did that shit to anybody else. It made no fucking sense. I said what I said.
Oh man, it's like, you know, like, you know, it was a bold move and statement, but like, okay.
Was he wrong?
No, I don't think he was wrong.
He was hella wrong.
Like, I think because it was videotaped, and because it's not like he went to a certain table or went to her and pulled her aside.
But that would have been more appropriate.
But he made it. I think the only reason. I think the only thing that was wrong about what he said was when he was like, "We don't need your money, and you can get the fuck out." That's the only part I think he was.
So doing. Like, so hear me out, right?
As far as like his frustration, like this is probably about like the 6th, 7th time, like, you know, party came in there, like.
See, I disagree.
Like, you know
I doubt
like,
it.
The fact
I
that
doubt
he said
it.
Like somebody was videotaping him. It wasn't like he made like, you know, a Twitter.
I think it was one girl who was twerking.
Like
and that was it. And then he decided to make it a big deal.
Look, but it's his restaurant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how? This is what
and
I'm
you
saying.
know what?
Like, you mad at his establishment.
And you know what?
You
goddamn right. You goddamn right.
If he doesn't want that type of behavior, like, I think he has the right to say he doesn't want that type of behavior.
He does, but he can be.
So he can,
but what I'm saying is that, like, let's say a white person was behaving in a way that he didn't like. He would not have behaved in the same way. He would not have behaved in the same way.
I made this for black people. Majority of everybody that was in that video and everybody there were black people. I think he really does fuck with that restaurant and fuck with black people.
And I get
think if
that. Somebody
white came
you
in
don't
there
have
tripping,
to offend people that way, though.
Motherfuckers would be like first motherfuckers, especially during this time. Like, I think for sure he would say that to some crazy white folks. Like, nigga, we really don't need
He
would have
pulled them aside, and he would have been polite about it.
I mean, I can see that. I can see that aspect. Like,
because
there are some niggas who act like that.
Because it's not like because, you know, like, twerking or like dancing
that
is not equated to being rude or loud or anything like that. Like,
agree.
let's say these girls just like got up and was just like feeling the music, was feeling their drinks, and they was just dancing. Like, they wasn't talking, they wasn't harming nobody, they wasn't interrupting anybody else's dinner. Like, they was by themselves. It was their own private.
Video specifically
what I'm saying,
shows a girl on the wall twerking, like,
right?
You know what I'm saying, like, it shows a girl twerking.
What
like,
I'm saying is that, like, yeah, like, it might not have been like appropriate, and I totally get that, but like, it did not warrant him doing all that unnecessary shit. I think all of that, what he did, was unnecessary, and him saying y'all can get the F out and y'all can do this, y'all can do that, like. it was wrong.
I
Like
think
anything outside. Anything
yes.
outside of him pulling that girl to the side and saying, "Excuse me, we don't do that here. Can you please have a seat?" And y'all know you said like, "Oh, you know he probably did that 6-7 times." That's literally the life of having a restaurant. Like literally, like that's your life. When you own a restaurant, all you doing is the same shit all over and over again. Please don't do that. Please sit down. Please have your baby. Please don't do this. Please don't do that. That's literally all you do as a restaurant. Okay. So I don't want to hear like any excuses. I don't want to hear it.
Non-stop complaints about how restaurant owners treat people. And like the fact that he said that he
really
wants to make this for black people, like, you know what I'm saying? They just don't get caught on videotape. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
inappropriate.
There's plenty of restaurants
unacceptable.
And, like,
unacceptable and inappropriate.
Are like assholes and shit like that, but it's their establishment. You came to their
and they be closed,
like, you know
and this place about to be closed too.
I doubt it. It's too many people who think like him, and like, you know, you said it yourself. It's 50-50.
I bet you $5.
And it's like, okay, yeah.
Because he said that it's 75% women.
Of course, he's gonna apologize. But
I bet you $5 right now. What's today?
Seriously doubt.
All right, by November 30th, 2021, this establishment is gonna be closed.
Hey, look, we got to bet on you, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, you see how they just trying to tear it down because we want to like go ahead.
I'm not saying that it's. I'm not. I don't want to tear. I don't want to tear him down.
Female needs to listen something. Nah, fuck her out. What Kevin Hart say shit like, you know, it's because you're stupid.
My hands on you. You know that wasn't funny though.
You laughed though. Come on, man. Don't act like you ain't laughing. Don't act like you laughing. Good.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up now. We're done.
All right, man. So yo, let's go ahead and shout out the sponsor for the episode, man. So we're gonna start off with
Rumor Has It Apparel.
Rumor Has It Apparel, man. Please go ahead and get out your new. Go check out the new crew necks. Right now, I'm sporting the old Compton crew neck right now.
Your microphone is blocking it.
I know. Yeah, hold on. So if y'all can see that, yeah, I mean, it just got the cross streets, like, you know, the major cross streets of Compton. You know what I mean? So go ahead and check that out from Rumor Has It Apparel. You know, get cop yours today. Then of course we got Iron Root Code, man, still like doing their thing out in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right, they're coming out with like YouTube videos, and they still have apparel.
The merchandise, please check that out. Root for each other. Where is it at? Damn, it's up top. Like, I don't know if you see that.
Oh, here's the hanging.
Yeah, hanging there right behind me too. Like, I wish I could die though. You know what I'm saying? I can't really move like that. But man, yo, please check out their merchandise, Iron Root Code. And then we got Hustle Yard Media. December 5th, we are out in Phoenix, man. We're gonna be doing our thing, man. We got the new comedy show. And we got limited tickets right now, man. So you need to get yours, man. Eventbrite. Please hit up Rollo the Leader on Instagram, Facebook, anything. Like, you know, get at them, get your tickets now, man. That's happening next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday.
This Saturday.
I'm sorry, yeah, this upcoming Saturday. So we're gonna have this released by probably tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, man, get your tickets now, man. We out in Phoenix, Arizona. We're gonna be there. Anything StinkieHippy.com? Like, you know, you got some new shit popping.
I do have some new stuff coming.
Yeah, talk to the people about it.
Should I tell them or should I wait?
Nah, go ahead, man. You already got some of the products ready though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So,
all right. Give them like a little soft launch. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta tell them. Like, tell them about it, but like, you ain't releasing it. You know what I mean?
Well, I do have some products upcoming. Some stoner accessories for you. And this is the general. It'll just be some nice stuff to have around the house, some decorative things that I'm making by hand. And yeah, I will be ready to show that to you guys pretty soon. So, to be announced.
You ain't want to tell them what type of things?
I said stoner accessories. Like tray, like rolling trays, you know, ashtrays, the bottles. What else? You got the keychains.
Maybe lighter covers, but
lighters, torches, all that.
Yeah. StinkieHippy.com. Please check that out. Or
coming soon.
Hell yeah. Man, this has been another episode of Rolling with the Rolling Stoners. Burning Conversations with Stinkie Hippy. Thank you again for coming through.
For sure.
Is there any last words you want to say before we go ahead and get up out of here?
Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. It's your boy Fransisco Phoenics. You know where to follow me at all platforms. I'll have it down there for you. We are up out of here. Peace, peace. Cheers.